What is going on, everybody? Kim K with you here on ONTrack Weekly on GeForce TV. Now 20,000 subscribers strong. We're here a little bit before we were supposed to start, just a couple minutes, because we want to get as much time as possible with our guests tonight. Zoom is being a pain already, asking for information that they don't normally need. So, but we're going to bring on Cory McAllister with son Kane. He's going to be our first guest tonight. They're going to be from the road. They're out heading out to Nova Scotia, and we'll chat to them as to why they're heading out that way, and we'll chat about how the season has gone. So we waste no time in bringing on our guests. We'll see how well the connection is because they're out on the road. And there they are. They're a little sideways, but that's okay. As long as we hear that. There we go. Oh, there we go. Perfect. That works. Hopefully you guys can hear me. Cory and Kane, how are you guys tonight?
We're good.
Good. How are you doing, guy?
Oh, we're all right. So I hear you guys are on the road. Where are you going?
We're on our way to IWK 250 right now, out to Nova Scotia. So we just stopped at Costco here in Quebec for some beverages, and then we're gonna get back on the road and probably get to New Brunswick yet tonight.
What's the plan? Are you guys racing out there, Kane? Are you going to be in one of those late models?
I don't know.
Yeah,
Maybe someday.
we got Jake Sheridan in the Raptor Filters late model this weekend, so it's gonna be pretty exciting. The MRE guys have been working really hard along with Jake on that car, so it should be a good week here, hopefully.
Yeah, I think so. I would assume the plan maybe at some point is to get Kane and a Bandolero because they do some really big fun stuff out there in the Maritimes, eh, Cory?
Yeah, no, we're definitely going to be having our eyes on everything out there. His uh, his career is definitely in the opposite swing mine is. So he's up and coming, and I'm on the downward spiral here. So yeah, we're definitely going to be watching what they're all doing out here.
Well, it's got to have been fun this year, Kane. You got out there and you raced. You've done really well. I saw you take the lead a couple weeks ago in a heat race, and then actually I think in the feature. So, how much fun has it been?
Yeah, it's pretty fun out there. I like
Yeah,
it.
yeah. Do you like watching your dad race, or do you like racing more?
He said he liked me watching me more than he liked racing.
I think so. I think Cory, it's got to be a lot of fun because you talked about this a couple years ago, and now it's happening. And he's going out there. He's done really well for his first year. Normally, you don't see kids lead in their first year. Hell, even not even their first or second years. So he's picked it up really quickly. What's been the reasoning for that?
Well, he's been in a car now for a couple of years. Not a lot of people know that because we didn't go to an event, but our family, we've went over to Varney for the last couple years and just practiced on off nights, and I think that's a big thing. Instead of just sticking the kid in the car and expecting things to go, practice and working with them, and I just enjoy it from working in the shop together and doing everything together, and then the micro sprint thing at Oshwegan's really taken off. Glenn, Clint, all those guys down in Oshwegan need a big, big shout out. What they do for the kids on a Thursday night, I can't tell you how good that program is. It's fast paced. Kids are more in their age groups. He's got 18 carts to race against every night, and I can't say enough good things about that program.
It's definitely a lot of fun getting because we get to watch Kane race on GeForce TV. Jackson and McLean do a great job on the broadcast. It's cool that they've got the next generation of broadcasters doing it as well. Matt Bray chiming in saying Kane drives better than his dad some nights. I think that's probably true.
Maybe a
How
few
was
less black flags so far, but yeah.
how was the APC event for you, Cory? I know it was a difficult race, actually, difficult weekend. You weren't the only one. I know Kevin Trevlin on the Friday night. He needed some help after what was a long race in the heat. So, how are you feeling now after a pretty tough Saturday?
Yeah, I'm getting back to normal now and pretty good. But my team, we're really going forward with the pro late. It's been a big learning curve going from a big spring car over to a bump spring car, and we were consistent all through practice. We qualified well. It might have been 11th, but half a tenth of a second would have taken us up to 5th or 6th. So nothing to hold our head about there. It's really stiff competition. I'm really proud of how our team's coming. Just with about 20 to go, I started getting a bit of dizziness, and then about 10 to go, just started getting a bad headache. And it was great. The CMRT crew that the United Racing Series has there at our events, they're right over to help us after. My spotter Ricky Walt kind of gave him a heads up that I wasn't feeling the best in the car, and just the overall professionalism and the helpfulness of them. I probably owe him a cold one here one night.
I would think so. Cold one would definitely be suited. Gary Collins says Cory is a great man, but I believe his son is a better racer. Uh, oh, I love this. Susie says great race last week, Kane at Oshweek, yeah, it's already been a couple victories out there for you, Kane. You get to do a little something that not a lot of kids get to do. You get to race dirt and on asphalt. What's your favorite so far?
I really like both because we keep going to Sunset, and Brian and Sandra are really good to us up there, and yeah.
Yeah, and you think you can win on asphalt as well?
We try to keep the car trying, but the car is going to try his best to keep the chain on.
That's right. That's always the very difficult thing, as we've seen that a lot. Big plans this year, Cory, for the rest of the year. Obviously, a Shweekin Speedway and running in the Sunset Junior Late model. Now, can you stop running over my computer? Um, big plans this year. Are you guys going to do ACC?
Probably with the junior late model, we will. I think we've been talking a lot. I don't know. I have a hard time leaving a race car at home if it could be racing there. So who knows what we're all going to take to ACC, but the junior late definitely will be going there.
Now, obviously, you've got the big plans this year. Jake Sheridan has been a really good addition to the two-sport team. He has had two-speed team. He has had a phenomenal season this year, winning. I don't even know how many races he's won now, but it doesn't matter where he's gone. He's been able to do it. Big plans. I didn't even know you guys were planning on going to the IWK. So why are you heading out for this big event?
We've always wanted to do it's one big race, and this all kind of came together. Jake's helped me a lot in the shop this winter. We've been bouncing stuff back and forth. Him and his brother Nick. Nick's been helping me out a ton at the track as well, and so yeah, we wanted to do this race, and we weren't sure how we were going to do it, and yeah, so we ended up renting a car from Mike down at McCall's, and yeah, I think it's going to come together well.
I know Nasi is your guy, but Jake Sheridan's going to be out running with Bubba Pollard this weekend. Are you going to try and get Bubba Pollard some two-speed merch?
No, I'm not really interested in him wearing two-speed merch. I'm more of a Nazi guy than a Bubba guy, but that's just my own opinion.
And for before we wrap it up, because I know you guys have had a long trek, it's been a long day traveling out there. Obviously, being part of Connor James's resurgence this year has been brilliant to see. As I posted on social media, he's now tied for the second most all-time wins in OSS, with the chance of surpassing the great Steve Robley for the most in history. You were obviously a competitor with Connor and Rob, and you put him in that 33 car this year in honor of his dad, and just talk about the season he's having, because it's remarkable.
Yeah, me and Rob had this plan kind of going before they went on vacation, and we just never really got a chance to get together. And Connor and his family are just fantastic people. I honestly can't say enough good things about all of them. They work together hard, and Connor, he does all the maintenance on that car. He's up in the shop. He's working on it, but he's a hell of a driver. He stays calm behind the wheel, and we were saving and saving and saving on Friday night even, and I told him, okay, we can't save no more. We got to go. But overall, he takes care of his equipment. He's respectful in the pits. He's respectful everywhere. So I'm really excited. Connor's not done seeing Victor Lane yet this season. We're going to a few places. Peterborough, he's really, really strong. Flamborough, he's super strong. We go back to Sunset. Varney, I enjoy spotting for him there. He's going to be getting really, really good there too. So
Before we wrap it up, Kane, you can't pick your dad. So who's your favorite race car driver in Ontario that's not your dad? Your favorite race car driver?
Kyle.
Kyle Steckley.
That's a pretty good pick right there, Kyle Steckley. Susie says, it's hard to find a better guy than Cory. Have a great time down east and good luck to Jake and the team. Sam Morris says, can't wait to give Connor James another beer in Victory Lane. I think that sounds pretty good if you can wrap it up with a championship this year once again. That would be, again, he'd be on his path for more records if he's able to go in another championship. But thank you both for joining me. I think this is Kane's first live interview on our show before. So congratulations for that. But I think the youngest guest we've ever had on ONTrack Weekly.
Yeah, and just before we wrap it up, on behalf of Jen, and Jen was down crew chiefing for Kane on Saturday night. Kyle Wendells and Connor James jumped in, but we had some mechanical issues, and all the teams that jumped in and helped Kane out and tried getting him back on the track, got him out there for a feature. It really meant a lot to me, and I'd just like to say thank you to everybody as well.
It's what the racing community is all about, right? Trying to help each other out. And I actually saw, you guys, you had your differences with a couple racers in OSS, and you know what? To see you guys asking, he was coming around. There's Sean McGlynn asking if you guys had something, you guys working together despite differences. That's what racing is all about. It's remarkable that no matter how difficult races can be and how you can have differences of opinions, people can work together because they'd rather beat you on the racetrack more than anything. It is without saying that you are one of our favorite people to have, not just on our shows, but as a member of our team, as a two-speed motorsports partner for stickers and scuffs, but as a friend as well. And to see Kane coming out there repping us as well has been awesome. I can't wait to see more Victory Lane because I think he's going to have that number one kind of stuck in that position for the rest of his life. It's working out really well.
Yeah, we 3 inches short there on Thursday night. We thought we had it. Just getting through lap traffic was a little tough, but sometimes I think you need those losses. It makes the wins you feel even better.
Absolutely. Well, enjoy this weekend. It's going to be awesome. That is one of the best weekends in all of Canada racing. And definitely say hi to my buddy Regan if you find him out there, because he's definitely going to be out enjoying himself. And have a great rest of the season. We'll get you guys on later this year.
Right on. Thanks a lot, Cam.
Thanks.
Thank you. That is Kane and Cory McAllister out on the road. They said they're in Costco, heading to the IWK 250. And that was, I think, first interview for Kane McAllister on our show. But this is not a first. This is our good buddy Austin Arnell. He's a little bit older than Kane McAllister, but coming off of the dirt and a solid runner-up finish. Austin, well, how was Buxton?
Buxton was a lot of fun. This is our second year going now with the Great Lakes Legends Series. The first year there we won, and it was kind of a trial period for the guys of us that made the journey. And then we had a couple more cars on Saturday there. And I mean, to finish runner-up, it sucks. I wanted to win the event, but I guess if I got to follow anyone, I'll keep following that 78 of Matt Boys again.
We had Matt on a couple weeks ago. Matt is a constant professional, one of our favorites to interact with. He talked about kind of what you guys have been dealing with this year. It's a little bit different. Obviously, you're running a little bit more of the Great Lakes Legends schedule this year. Talk a little bit about that decision. I know you were out at the Ontario Legends event at Sunset Speedway. Didn't go the way you were hoping. I know it was a tougher finish for you, tougher race, but how's the season gone for you so far?
Season's been great so far, running with the Great Lakes Legends, and the personal reason for us running with the Great Lakes is it's our closest series for us in the Legends event instead of driving to Sunset or Peterborough, which happens to be pretty well 4 hours to either track, whereas now that we're running with Great Lakes, they run more local tracks to us, which I can't say local too much because most tracks are 2 hours or more from my place here in near Grand Bend. But no, running behind Matt with the Great Lakes, like we've had a great year. I think we started the year with 3 seconds now, and then a 12th at Sunset, which it was a combined event there too, which was nice to have the car count. Sunset and I have never really gotten along in the, I think, 5 trips I've made there so far. It's such a fun track, but it's difficult, especially when you get in a big crowd and you can't move around or you can't do what you want to do. And me and Marvin haven't been on the best terms yet this year. We're still trying to figure each other out. So hopefully we can get her pointed back in the right direction because we got 2 weeks here to get her kind of pointed right for Grand Bend. And I'd like to have a strong showing at that track, just being as it is the hometown track.
It's been a little bit nicer for you guys this year. You have had a pretty good field of cars, which is great to see. There's always been a question mark with the Great Lakes. Obviously, the Ontario Legend cars, they've done very solid with their counts. They're looking typically upwards of 22. You guys had a major team that was that basically shut their doors last year at the end of the year, and they supplied a lot of cars to the field. So that obviously was going to be a huge hit. A huge hit to the morale, but it's not really lost you guys much in terms of momentum. You've actually gained a couple more cars, it looks like, on the full-time circuit. And for those that don't know, is there any difference between the Great Lakes Legends cars, or are they about the exact same as an Ontario Legend cars? You just race different places?
They're all pretty well the exact same. Like obviously you're gonna get your differentials and motor packages, or if everyone's got the new fancy shocks or the new fancy brakes or anything like that. But pretty well across the board, every car is the same. It just tends to be the Ontario guys. Like right now, they've got a couple big names that have stepped down from modifieds or anywhere else. Like you got Andy Camrath coming into the series, so right there that guy carries speed and everything he's raced. And um, obviously those guys are closer to the north section here of the southern part of Ontario, so it makes more sense for them to run those races up there with Robin and the Ontario series. But no, it kind of sucked there losing Dan Russ Motorsports. He brought anywhere from 4 to 7 cars to the track at once, but it's been nice. And with the Great Lakes this year, and then us, that series debuting the Challenger series here in Ontario has been a really nice thing. It'd be nice to have more cars all together, but it is nice also separating some of the drivers that either aren't up to speed, they're younger getting into the sport, or they just want to race people of their caliber. It's been crazy to watch. They're running a second or two off our times in the faster group, or however you want to label it, but the racing is just as good. There's 3 of them that run bumper to bumper, or however many show up, and it's good racing.
I feel like that's very similar to what we've seen in the junior late model series at Peterborough that they ran a couple years ago. Is they had the pros and then they had the juniors, and it was more or less you had to reach a certain lap time, and kids that were much younger were racing together versus the older kids who are running much faster. And that's I appreciate you guys doing that. I think it does bode very well. I think in a way, if it's almost considered a B main for the Ontario Legend cars, I'd be open to that. I don't believe, and I mean, correct me if you think I'm wrong here, but you have had to send cars home when you've had combined events. Yeah. So I don't agree that we should be doing that. I mean, I know it's 2025 and there are limits to how many cars we run, but hell, if everybody shows up, we got to reward them. We shouldn't send anybody home. We should, if they show up, put a B main on, 10 laps or whatever. And just like that, you said, if they can't run with the rest of the pack, then have their own little, like the race amongst themselves. Amber Wallace, you can't take away the joy that she had on her face because it's still a feature win. There are divisions that have 3 cars. There are divisions that have 10 cars. There's divisions that have 30 cars. A win is a win, and I love that you guys are doing that. Is this something that we see in the U.S. for the Legend cars, or is this something that's unique to Great Lakes Legends?
No, the Chargers division, like I'm not the most knowledgeable on it, but they do run it at their bigger INEX events down south. Like Charlotte will have a Chargers division. And it's crazy to watch the progression on Race Monitor down there. You'll see them at the start of the week or the start of the summer being like 2 seconds off of the semi-pro or pro guys. And by the end of it, they're just as fast and now ready to jump up into whatever division, whether it's Young Lions, semi-pro, or wherever they're going after that. And it's nice to see down here because Amber and Rylan, if I'm saying his name right, Bailey, and I encourage whoever is getting into a legend car, if they're not comfortable, if you're coming out to the Great Lakes, jump in it. It's a great way. It's extra seat time. I believe the way Blake is running it, you can still run the main show afterwards, and more lap time, more seat time, the better. And then, yes, it does suck that we do send cars home when we have our combined events, but to me, in 2025, with the economy we're in, with watching all these car counts die everywhere else in all these fields, that, it's not like we're in the cheapest division to run by any means, and we're still sending cars home. Like, yes, they do get to run their B main, and normally I think 4 to 6 get to make it out of that B and jump up with the faster guys. But to have that big of a car count and the caliber of a division that the Ontario and Great Lakes Legend Series cars have now, it's crazy to me to think that, oh yeah, by the way, if you're not in that top 20 after qualifying, you now have to race your way in against some guys that shouldn't normally be in a B main. It just happens to be that's how stiff the competition is now.
And you've got a great opportunity to put on another huge show. There's going to be a big legend car event taking place at Sauble Speedway. They're putting up a pretty good purse for that. The legend cars, like I've said it time and time again, and I won't stop saying it, they're a big part of the IWK 250 weekend out of the Maritimes. You can go down to Charlotte, you can run in there, you can run out west. This is the benefit of having a division run by INX that you can go and be a part of things. Bandoleros have joined up this year to be a part of the Legends as well. I'd love if we could get to a point where we do have a semi-pro, a pro division, a Young Lions. I really think we could do that. Hell, even now, if you consider all the cars and all the young guys we've got there: Cole Camerath, Del Freiberger, Jake Spencer Walt, Keaton Pipe. There's enough young talent there that you could have one hell of a crazy young guns or your own Young Lions division as well. I think we can't really count you as a young lion anymore, Austin. You're a little seasoned now, but Epic Racewear on your uniform this year. They've got a cool program this year. I believe that you've been a part of that. It is a uniform that we rep on our podcast. I just noticed you're wearing the really nice Austin Arnell racing shirts with the Epic brand right there. Next race for you guys, you said 2 weeks, Grand Bend. You're really good there. Are we expecting a checkered flag, or are you going to have to move that 78?
Oh, I mean, if I could keep up with the 78 after the performance he put on at the last Grand Bend race, if I have to move him, I mean, white flag. They can't take the photo away from me at the end of the night. But I don't know. I would love to put on a good race there. If I have to finish second, it's to the 78. It is what it is. He's a great guy. He puts in probably the most work out of any guy I know. But I would definitely love to have a photo at that track once again with me holding the checkered flag. And then, yeah, it's great wearing the Epic stuff this year. I love being a part of their ambassador program. Dan and Bob and Kendra and everyone behind the scenes there, they're just great to deal with. And yeah, definitely the most comfortable suit I've worn. And I do love the crew shirts. They're a lot more breathable than a t-shirt at the track.
The one thing I do want to get because maybe some people aren't as familiar with the Great Lakes Legends series presented by Freshstone Brands. Who's a name that we have to watch out for in that division? Because obviously the Ontario Legends seem to get a lot more attention, but there is a lot of good racers out there. Who's a young up and coming talent that's up in the Great Lakes Legends series that do you think people should be paying attention to?
Oh, there's too many to count, whether they're up and coming or they've been in racing for long. Like Bob Bailey's been super fast this year. Todd Tolton's fast. Amber's going to be someone to watch in the next couple of years. So is Rylan. Like considering he had never really been in a legend car around competition yet until the beginning of this year, he's moving pretty good. Amber had a head start on him, but watching those two race, I know I'm still one of the younger guys in the series, but watching the new guys come in, it is cool to see and watch them race and battle it out. And I would love to see the younger kids come in and enjoy the program the way it is being set up right now.
Have you given Jenny Hatch any fits yet?
Ooh, I don't think I've caused any issues yet this year. You're still young. I don't like to be on that end of things, but some nights, you're a little more fired up than you'd like to be when you get off the track.
As long as it doesn't result in anything stupid at the end of the night, we know that you're going to have some fun out there. Austin, as always, thank you for joining me on the show. It's always great to talk with you, and you'll be on before the end of the year.
All right, it was good talking to you. Thanks, Cam.
No problem. Austin Arnell, we move right from him and we bring on Nate Greenaway, who's been patiently waiting. Greenaway coming off of an 8th place finish out at Delaware Speedway. And you know what, Nate, we don't get a chance to talk too much because we're both really busy guys now. But, man, not bad of a race for you, my friend. You still got pacing stuff to work out at Delaware, but much more competitive than you have been. The field is really tough out there, and it was friggin' hot. So how are you feeling following Friday, bud?
First of all, Cam, always love talking to you. But no, following Friday, I've always found Delaware for us has been like our Achilles heel.
Yeah.
And we find some way to have an issue at Delaware. We can plan as much as we want for, but we always have an issue. And I was actually talking to Kevin in the shop earlier about this, that the field strength with OSS this year is a lot stronger. And it's great to see because the competition ahead of me in points and in general overall is great because it forces and it really makes me try to be a better driver. And, I was down with, I found I couldn't quite get the throttle down. Like my foot would be in it and the motor just wasn't responding to me.
Mm-hmm.
But handling wise, the car was there. It felt like we could be competitive. And if I had that couple extra horsepower, I really do think, I'm competing with Kevin and Brad and, a lot of guys that I respect hugely in this series. So, we pulled off our best finish in 8th and I can't complain.
And you weren't spinning? Like, I mean, the first 2 races I think you had, you were spinning a couple times, right? It was a little difficult to figure out, but you looked a lot more stable in the car. And that's, I think, the biggest thing at Delaware is stability and not being over the line when you approach the corners. You've obviously been the new guy on the block. How did it feel to see another new guy in Cooper Alberton come out of absolutely nowhere? I remember you coming up to me and being like, "Did you see what Cooper just did?" Right? And you guys, kind of the fresh young blood coming into the series, you're kind of keeping those I want to say the old guys, but the old guys on their tails. It's definitely awesome to see, but you also had to see a really bad wreck.
Yes.
And I have not seen one like that before. I've watched OSS for many, many years, never witnessed one like that. You've seen it 2 years in a row at Delaware Speedway. From your vantage point, did you see what had happened? And how did you, Nicole, can we stop? Please don't bring up the egg shape of Delaware. I'm going to lose it. She knows that she pushes buttons when she says that. What did you see from your vantage point?
Honestly, I knew taking that restart, things were already going to be a little dicey.
Oh, yeah?
Just going into 1 and 2 for the first time, everyone is very, very tight together off that restart, which is doesn't quite happen too often with a restart where everybody's bunched up tight and the field was tight together coming out of 4. And all of a sudden, I just seen white smoke, and my spotter Robbie Vrabel is just yelling, like, "Find a hole, go low, 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 low," and Amber's wrecking high, and it was unfortunate because when I watched the replay after, I feel so bad because it's back-to-back years for her as well, like
yeah,
and Mangin as well, loading a wrecked race car for something that was really out of your control, and I almost rear-ended Kevin. Because he got in, looking at the video, he got into the back of Doug, and him and Brad almost had nowhere to go. And then they found a hole, and I was hard on the brakes. And I was going to try and pull up alongside Kevin and being like, see if he was any damage for him. But no, it was, even with the heat too, like it was getting to a lot of us. And I found judgment calls were probably a little lapsed.
Mm-hmm.
And, I can't thank Delaware enough for us being a touring series and pushing us to get on and take the green and get going. It made a very, very rushed day, which
Yeah.
I'm not complaining at that. But as a driver, when you feel rushed, mistakes get made, right? So could have been a lapse of judgment, could have been anything, could have been heat because it was hot. Like I know Kevin, when he got out of the car at the end, medics had to come over to him and help him out because the heat got to a lot of us. And it's that red flag really, you're sitting in a hot race car. And again, shout out to Delaware for the crew there, going around and going to every driver when you want a bottle of water, like ice cold bottles of water.
I'll give huge credit to Mark Patrick, actually, because
Yes.
Mark Patrick was on the front stretch when the red flag came out, and he went straight to an official and said, "Can you guys get some water? Because the guys on the back stretch are cooking." And I was in that meeting, the drivers' meeting for Delaware, and I've said it before. Sean Gibbs, Daryl Timmermans, Alex Nagy, this is what tracks need to do for touring series. If you're there and there's a chance that your race is going to get rained out, you're not coming back.
Exactly.
It's going to get canceled. So they did it. This is now, I believe, twice that I've actually witnessed it, that they've done it, where they stuck you guys on first. They sacrificed their own division and put them on last. It looked like we could have made it, but then when we were traveling home, there was not a chance in hell we were actually going to finish the night. It was pretty bad when we left. You guys left after us, so I don't know how bad it got at the track, but it was pretty miserable.
It got very bad at the track. The rain came in hard, and we waited. Like I know, like I said, Kevin was trying to recover, so I was trying to help get him loaded because I knew as soon as we got off the track, I knew we weren't going back out, and I already prepared the guys and told them, said, "Hey, if this does happen, get the trailer ready because we're throwing this right in the trailer, and we're not messing around. As long as the car's loaded, I don't care." And hanging around, I had to hang around a bit anyway because Kendra from Epic Raceway had to come out, and she was doing some remeasurements for my suit, and they're going to tailor it a little bit better. And so we waited around, and I actually got the chance to sit back and talk with Amber and talk with a lot of people I don't normally get to talk with. And, just learning more of the competition because, I like being the approachable guy in the pits, and I'm hoping I'm doing a great job at that. And, it feels great knowing that after like following Delaware and all like the response from fellow competitors and their family, like Darlene James and Sean McGlynn and even Kevin and a bunch of other competitors that are just saying, "Hey, keep your head up and just keep pushing." Like you're there, like it is there. You do deserve to be here. It's just, it's time to find that speed now. Like let's go find that speed. And it comes down to seat time, right? So
absolutely. And the thing at Delaware, as we always know, is it's motor wins, right? And those that don't have the big motors, typically they struggle. I know you've been in this series for the last 2 years. Well, you're in your second year right now. Been in there a little bit longer because you were part of Kevin's crew helping out, and you're a prime case of a driver who saw this division, wanted to be a part of it, and has made it happen. You are the biggest campaigner for the division. There's no one that pushes it more, and no one that has gotten on the list of partners that you have. They're approaching, like, I feel like 26. And if you ever win, you're gonna need the list written out for you. Nate, Susie says, "I've only met you once, but I think you're a great guy for the sport, and the rogue jerky is delicious." And that's what you're being known for.
I appreciate
my dad will
that.
never forgive you because there was none left.
Oh, I know. Trust me, there was a few people at Delaware I had none left. And actually, unfortunately, JP Smitty Sauces actually gave me a case of each sauce and spices, and I was supposed to go up in the crowd in Delaware and hand them out and take some pictures with the fans in the crowd. And unfortunately, being rushing through the night, you can't make it out there. And it's something that I always want to try and do, is be involved with the fans and everything, because that's, at the end of the day, that's what's going to bring people back to watch our shows. is being personable, handing stuff out. You know, it was awesome to have Cole from Rogue Meats go out to Sauble Beach with us and just bring boxes of jerky and just start throwing them in the crowd. And people were absolutely loving it. And it was, you know, for me, that fan and crowd engagement is really what's going to set you apart in the series. Rather you run at the back or run at the front, it's being involved with every track that you go to.
Yeah,
Because you need to, and like I said, being a touring series, that's the only way you're going to get that recognition.
absolutely.
And that's what's going to get us the support to be faster later on, right? So
Nicole Given says, Phil says thanks for the Uber ride at Motorama. Of course. He was a little bit tipsy that night. Great guy all around, says Jolene. No way. Al says, maybe if you have some car issues, bring a military 6x6 and roll around the track. Dad's always a big supporter of you, and we are as well. Thank you so much, Nate. Best of luck as you guys head back out for the rest of your season. I think you're back at Varney, I think, is the next race for you guys. So great rest of the season. You know you'll be on before the end of the year. So thanks for taking some time and chatting with me tonight.
Really appreciate it, Cam. Love you, buddy.
Love you, bud. That is Nate Greenaway from the Ontario Sportsman Series, just coming off of their race at Delaware Speedway, and we're going straight from Delaware over to our good buddy Brendan Doherty, my favorite announcer from Sunset Speedway. He's out chilling.
Man,
Man,
in the backyard having a good time.
Yeah, that is it.
Sitting out. Wouldn't know it from the background. I came prepared, as you can see.
You got the Speed is Forever. Yeah, you've got it ready, which is great because that's what I was going to lead into. You guys are mid-season form already, coming off of a great weekend out at Sunset. It was hot, but the action was great once again. You've got this big weekend coming up for Speed is Forever. Let's talk about that.
Yeah, I mean, full card. It's we're really in full swing. Essentially, for the Pro Late models, this is your last chance to warm up for the Junior Hanley Classic next weekend after this one. So, last chance to come for a paid test session before you get your shot at the big race next week in the third annual Hanley Classic. Hot Rods Modified's back on the card. Bone stock, mini stocks as well. I did the schedule today. I'm all out of sorts. Outlaw Midgets finally get their first start of the year. After being rained out at Velocity, so it'll be nice to have those guys out and joining us. So, yeah, it should be a great night. I mean, coming off Ribfest, it was a great card. Weather's been great so far. I mean, I'm not going to complain about dry at this point after May. So,
yeah, we talked about it a little bit. It was a little bit slow for the crowds coming out, but now that the weather's been nice, wow, you guys are pretty packed.
Yeah, no, it was Ribfest was good. We had a good crowd coming over. It was really actually cool to see, in the tower out on the cabana, as we like to call it. Once the racing started and I started announcing, you watch the stream of people come out of Ribfest and work their way over to our front gate and come in the stand. So it's that was really cool to see. It was very busy. We were parking people across the road to come into the Speedway and Ribfest. South Central Police out there to help us get everyone in and out safely. So it was awesome.
It's exactly what needs to happen. We talked about it. Community engagement is so big, and the fact that you guys have Innisfil using Sunset Speedway for Ribfest, that is a brilliant marketing move. It's going to get people interested, get people that have maybe never even heard of racing before to come out and enjoy it, and get some quality ribs as well. You're heading up for the big event, like you said, in 2 weeks. This is now the NTN Bearings Junior Hanley Classic, 172 laps around Sunset Speedway. It's been remarkable the last couple of years. Are we expecting once again the same type of field that we have in the past? We're probably going to see some APC names out to try and participate. I have heard of a particular RSW that might be heading back to the Speedway for this event. I'm not sure if that's true or not, but I wouldn't be shocked.
If it's true, that's a gentleman that's looking for a little redemption after last year. One of the fastest cars on the property having something go mechanically wrong.
It would be that man.
Out of a shot at a win. So that'd be good to see. I mean, in today's world, I'm really hoping so. I'm hoping it's a good field. We'll have the payout out this week and share with what's up for grabs. I'm not going to give any spoilers now until the boss man gives his final approval, because I live in a world now where I spend a fair bit of time in hot water seemingly, so I try to stay out of it whenever I can. So Today's a cool day, and I'm not looking to land any hot water before I go to bed. So the first will be out this week. We'll be sharing that out on all the socials there, and hopefully tracks and racers. I mean, it's just a great event. I mean, just how often do you get middle of the season, get through 172 laps? So that's what these drivers love: extended distance racing and managing your equipment and really having something at the end. And right now it's when you come to Sunset, I don't care if it's who's hot across the province. You got to come across Jordan House there, and that's one to upset. And it's going to be tough to upset that 18.
I'd say him if we're seeing Josh Stoddy out there, though Stoddy has been Sunset's been his domain the last year and a half. So that will be somebody. You've also got the second round of the Elmer's Flighting Supply big three for the junior late models. Is that happening still?
The second first round. So
the second first round, yes.
The second first round. So we didn't get the first round in. So this will be the first round for the Elmer's Flighting Supply Big 3 Series. So big payday. It is bigger than last year for the junior late models. So Spencer in the off season, he was out there, kissing babies, shaking hands, talking up all the junior late model folks, and we got a lot of people on board this year, some new people on board that really helped up the purse. So payouts are a little bigger and not at the top. We made this down the bottom, so which that payout we posted before. We're going to post again tomorrow and refresh all those junior late model people. But yeah, round one. Round two will now be made up on September 6th.
Okay.
So to be a combine race, Big 3 and the Sauble Peterborough Sunset Series. So combine race there at Sunset on September 6th. And then as always, the Homeland Auto Service New School 20 to close out the year for round 3. So yeah, Elmer's Flighting Supply Big 3 Series. It's delayed, but it's coming. It's going to be great. It's, showcasing the future stars as the undercard of the Junior Handley Classic. I mean, no better way when you got one of your biggest crowds of the year. People come to see the stars of the province right now, and now they get a chance to see the future stars.
And definitely you've had a great field of junior late models this year. I remember when you guys had you had 3 cars some weeks, and now you're upwards of, I don't think you've had a field lower than 10 cars every week. This is great to see. Peterborough's got 20. You guys are over 10, somewhere in between 12 to 15, I think, every week. It's a great thing to see.
It fluctuates, and it's great to see. That's, we sit about, I think it was 12 cars on Saturday. We sit about 12 cars. When the few Peterborough guys come over, we Van Belt and Brody Coates, we get to 14. You might get a few other stragglers out, 15, 16. It's great to see, and I just love that these kids are willing to travel and the parents are willing to travel. I know Ryland Cameron spent a bunch of time up at Sauble this year.
Yep.
And, if Andy running the legend car, so these kids are getting out there. They're all touring around. They're all having fun. Honestly, it's cool to see. I walked up. I was headed up to the tower to unlock things on Saturday, and there's Ronnie Mason and Josh Davenport and the Strikes and Kane McAllister, and they're all at the fence and they're all hanging out. They're wandering through the pits. They're playing tag. So these kids, they race hard on the track, but they're best friends off the track. They're all making memories and running around the pits and having a ton of fun. That's really cool to see.
You guys have had a homegrown talent go out and succeed down in Charlotte this year with Josh Davenport carrying the torch of Sauble and Sunset Speedway in Charlotte, showing them that we have talented racers up here. You obviously got to witness hardbody Todd Davenport for many years. I love that man. Talk about how cool it is to see his son go out there and be so successful, just like Todd was.
I mean, it is super cool, especially at such a young age. Just such a composed young man. I mean, I got to read it every week, his list of sponsors, and every time I interview that kid, he doesn't even look at the car. He's off the top of his head. He knows everybody that helps get him to the track, and that is absolutely incredible. And whether it's here or winning down at the Cookout Summer Shootout Series down in Charlotte, that kid just so talented. I mean, the race he had with Keegan Moat and the Bandoleros at Sunset, absolutely 5-star battle, and those two kids just put on a show. But I mean, Josh doing great things. And okay, I said I was going to say out of the hot water, I'm getting in it. Todd, get the super stock out.
Yes.
We want Josh in the super stock. Me and Spencer every week. Gord rolled in with Gord Shepherd rolled in with the big trail this week, and we're like, huh, is that 30 car in there? Is this the week? Are we going to test Josh? Is Josh coming out? Is he going to practice shakedown the super stock? Not yet. It's coming though. We're going to keep pressuring him. So Todd, please, I want to see Josh in a super stock at some point. I know he's got a lot of unfinished business. I mean, it's wild. He is in his second full season in junior late model. Like you have to put a pause in it. I mean, he wins every week. He wins at Sauble. He wins at Sunset. He wins everywhere he goes. But I mean, he had maybe a half dozen starts in 2023. Like, flip the primary car, had to get the backup car out. So I mean, he's literally only put together 2 full seasons, like not even 2 full seasons. We're coming up to the second season mark here in a few weeks. So it's absolutely wild how much he's accomplished in such a short time, and how much he's grown, and his capabilities behind the wheel.
Well, you know that we're going to be watching a ton more at Sunset Speedway. Speed is Forever this weekend at Sunset Speedway. I'm excited. We're not going to be there this weekend. We'll be there hopefully for the plan is for the Hanley, because I've never made it to a Hanley Classic. So we've got the Lincoln. I've gotten to see a Lincoln now. I've seen the Flying Frank, and now we're knocking down being able to see the Hanley Classic. I've already seen the Slaughter, so we're good. We're knocking down all those special events. You should be there as well.
One last Sunset Crown Jewel, and you checked all the boxes. You're there.
That's right. We're trying to get everything checked off. Brendan, thank you so much for joining me tonight. We gotta get on Paul Pepper because he's got to talk about his big win that he had this past weekend.
Paul Pepper back in victory lane.
Yeah, that's right.
Enjoy the night, my man.
All right, thank you so much, Brendan. That is Brendan Doherty, announcer extraordinaire out at Sunset Speedway. We're going to go straight into more Sunset action with a man who just got himself his super stock win, and he's calling us from what looks to be the beach. Way to rub it in for those of us who are stuck here in Toronto. But Paul Pepper, you've done it. You've finally friggin' done it. After 3 years of trying, Paul Pepper finally got himself into victory lane in the super stock division. This has been a long time coming. How pumped are you that this has finally happened?
Well, we're still in celebration mode here on Manitoulin Island, that's for sure. Got beautiful Lake Manitou behind us right now, so super happy. Like you said, it was a long 3 years in between feature wins, and it was a little crazy. It was 3 years to the day that we won a feature at Sunset. So really soaking it in, and the super stocks are off for a week here, so we can be a winner for 2 weeks and then head back to the track July 26th.
You've had a lot of issues with this car this year. Anything that has gone wrong has gone wrong.
Yeah.
What was the turnaround? Because we know you have such amazing supporters behind you, such great partners on that race car, and you were finally able to make it happen. What was the turnaround? Was it just starting up front? Was that it?
No, I mean, that helped. Obviously, that didn't hurt anything. But honestly, like, after our last race, we didn't even finish. I just pulled it into the pits, and, we were just so far off. And when Andy Camrath is telling me he just doesn't understand, we spent the night at his place the night before the race, and, we put a setup in the car, and just, it wasn't there. And that was kind of the trigger to say, okay, it needs to go somewhere and just get looked at. So, I've got to give a lot of credit to McCall Racing Enterprises, Joe Lawrence and Paul Jr., Mike Rusher, Scott James. We went down there on I guess it was Wednesday, and we wrenched on that car for 13 hours, and we found a lot of things on it that was definitely hurting us, and we were able to make some adjustments, and it paid off on a Saturday night.
It's been a tough kind of transition for the Superstock divisions and in Ontario as a whole, really. I mean, I think we're going from large fields to a little bit smaller, but ultimately the fields are not lacking in talent. The field is extremely close at Sunset this year. Colton Everingham, Miles Tyson, Johnny Morrison have all won this year. Now you add your name onto that. Bailey Jacobs is another one. Yeah. You add your name onto that. Any week, Jacob Booth could win as well. Any week, Cole Burrows could be up there winning. Any week, Connor Maltese has been on fire this year. So you're not in a lack of talent at all. It seems it's even harder to win in a Superstock than it ever has been.
Yeah, definitely the car counts are hurting a little bit for sure. It definitely doesn't help when there's a Dayco race and a weekly race at the same time. But when you look at the competition at Sunset, like, we're all within a tenth and a half of each other. So, you need to start up front to have a chance at it, or hope that someone has a bad night or makes a mistake. Like, I get it, there's only 8, 9, 10 cars out there, but we are all so close with what we're running, and that's consensus when we all talk to each other too in the pits. It's like, hey man, like anybody can win this race tonight. We're a 10th off, right? It all depends on what someone's doing with tires or things like that. So it sucks to not have the car count that we used to have a few years ago, but for sure the competition is still as fierce as ever. I would I'd put it up there with most classes when it comes to the actual times.
Yeah, I definitely would say that, you obviously having Flamborough as well, trying to build their counts up again as well. That does take away some names from Sunset. Obviously, Lane Zardo was a perfect example of somebody who ran a couple of races last year at Sunset Speedway. We haven't seen Sean Chenoweth out as much.
Thank God.
Well, that's what I was gonna say. He was out, preferably stamping on the field, no matter what he was running in, and that hasn't happened as much this year. It is going to be a very tough 2025. We know that financially for everybody. My hope is obviously that we'll get some rebounds for 26 and hopefully see a couple more people out. Like we were just talking with Brendan Doherty about bugging Todd Davenport to get Josh in his car. I mean, that would be a great step, honestly, to see him going out there and competing with you guys. I definitely could see it happening. This year, obviously, championship still kind of up in the air. I mean, no one's really gotten out too far. Miles Tyson, of course, is the champion from last year. He does seem that he's got some chinks in the armor, though, this year, because he has had to fight off challenges from Colton Everingham, who has hit another level this year. Johnny Morrison, you can never count him out. Bailey Jacobs is somebody who's running 2 different divisions at 2 different tracks and is still very fast. So for yourself, what are you going to have to do to be able to jump ahead of them?
I think we need a couple more nights for sure, like we had on Saturday, where we get max points, where we win our heat race, and then win the feature. We've unfortunately last week we struggled. Finished 7th and 8th, and we kind of finished 4th, average of 4th place in between those races. So I think we need to win. And right now, I mean, obviously, confidence is at an all-time high, but working with Paul over at McCall's, and I feel really confident about where we're at, and we're just gonna have to, we're gonna need a couple wins for sure. If we got to get a couple more wins before the season ends to put our names back in the championship hunt.
Obviously, nights like what you had on Saturday is what the dream is. You want to be able to put on an event like that where they tried, but they really never really got close enough to be able to get past you. Are there plans for you guys to stick around just Sunset this year? Are you going to do ACC? Are there plans of doing potentially a race at Flamborough for the Steel City? If there's no conflict, what are the plans for the rest of the year, Paul?
Plans for the rest of the year haven't changed. We're going to finish off the year at Sunset, and then we're going to go over to Flamborough to support Mike Schmidt's LRR Frosttoberfest in September.
Nice.
And then we'll be at ACC again. ACC is always it's a week of fun down there, and we had a top 3 car there last year. Obviously, the results didn't show it, but we didn't execute when we were down there last year. But looking forward to going back to Peterborough. Actually, I said to Andy when we got done tech and all that stuff on a Saturday night that this car is gonna be really good at Peterborough. So looking forward to getting back there in October and running the colors again.
Are we ever going to see Paul Pepper racing against Andy Camrath in a legend car? Because I think that would be a lot of fun.
I'm trying to test his legend car. He keeps saying, get in it. So we'll try and work that out. But for now, we're going to stick with the super stock and for sure get another year out of it. We're kind of bouncing around some ideas of what we want to do next year, whether it's, build a new car at McCall's or, improve on the car that we have now. We're all, we're building a new car next year, and then we won this week. So we'll maybe we'll reassess that discussion. But right now we're going to stick with super stocks for another year for sure.
Well, congratulations, Paul. I want to thank you for obviously representing our podcast this year. I knew that us being on the car would lead to some success, obviously. But the best of luck for the rest of the year. Hopefully you can find yourself in that championship battle, and hopefully that was not just a one-off. I don't think it is. I think you guys got this sorted out now, and we'll see you in victory lane a couple more times this year. But best of luck, my friend, and thank you so much for joining us.
Well, appreciate the exposure, Cam, and everything that you guys do to get the sponsors and the racers out there. And let's go get a couple more here before the year ends.
I think an ACC Maple Leaf trophy sounds pretty good to end the year.
Absolutely, we would get hella drunk that night if we did that for sure.
And you know what? I wouldn't blame you, man. That would be worth it. All right, thank you, Paul.
Take care.
All right, that's our friend Paul Pepper as we now head out to Delaware Speedway to wrap up our show tonight. We're going to bring on somebody who I've been a huge fan of the last couple of seasons. He's had a couple different looks of race cars, but this year he's joined up with our good buddy Chris Lawrence at BT Racing. It's Adam Generoo finally joining us here on ONTrack Weekly. Adam, how are you doing tonight, my friend?
I'm doing quite well, Cam. Thanks for having me on. I'm really excited to be here.
Well, let's talk about it, buddy. It's been a little bit different of a bone stock season for you. Still kind of figuring things out, I think, but a great looking number 25 car.
Well, thank you. We really took a lot of pride in the look of the car this year. Took a lot of time to plan out the paint scheme and all that. But yeah, anytime that you build a brand new car, even if it's the same chassis as the car that you've been driving, there's always different things, that you kind of have to smooth out. We started off the year pretty good, and we've just sort of been finding the point of it. It always takes some time.
Yeah, I mean, last year, obviously, I would consider, and I don't know if you agree, but a breakout season of sorts for you.
I would say that half the year was a breakout year for me, and I'd say the other half was on the trailer. So yeah, I'd say for sure it was definitely a breakout year of sorts, but definitely peaks and valleys.
Well, obviously being able to get that, and one of my favorite wins last year was your first bone stock win. Yeah, obviously, yeah, it was a great one. And you know what? That's when I describe that, it's because of the genuine excitement and happiness that came out of it. You finished 11th in points last year. You're sitting 10th right now. So statistically, you're having a better season. 7 starts down. There's only a couple left to go, really. It's crazy to say that. It makes me really sad, frankly, that there's that many. But this year, obviously, making the A-mains has been a pretty easy thing for you. It's been very nice to see. Change from last year to this year. New car. Have the gremlins gone away? Has it been relatively great for you?
Yeah, reliability wise, the car's pretty much been bulletproof, other than in preseason testing. I barely got any laps, but since then, reliability, maintenance wise, it's been a breeze, especially compared to the other car. It's really nice to be working on it with like performance in mind instead of just making all the laps in mind. It's been a nice change from last year.
I think the one thing that the bone stock division at Delaware, the Lift-Toa bone stocks have been, and they always seem to be, they are the highlight in my opinion at Delaware. You guys are the show. It is so much fun to see 36 to 44 of you guys out there every week, routinely and battling each other to make the race. You've had a top 5 car for most of the year. What is it that you need to do to get back to the victory lane? Because it seems like you're close. It's not gotten to that next level yet.
Yeah, so we're really just kind of working on both the car and my own racecraft. I still am relatively new to it. I didn't have any prior experience on ovals or anything like that before getting into it initially. So it's still a lot of racecraft. I spent a lot of my first 4 years like making sure that the car was working. So this year, now that the car is solid, easy, dependable, I've been working on my own racecraft. So it's a bit of that and just kind of setting myself up to work with the car.
Mm-hmm.
You got to find a balance of what do I need to change and what do I need to change on the car. So I agree with you. I think that we're right there. The pace is just missing 1 or 2 tenths to really be able to go out there and take a victory away. But I think that we're in a position where if things fall our way, I think that we could win one. Not easily, because it's never easy, but we just need to take a few more steps to be able to go out there and really fight for it and really grab and take it away from someone. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. And you guys had a great opportunity. You did very well in your heat races, and then the rain came and it ruined what was going to be an awesome show. I've said it before. I've been there for the Bone Stocks before when Graydon was racing, and it was hard to kind of focus on the actual race then because you have a friend racing, so it's different. But I still have never gotten the opportunity to see all you guys pile into turn one. Right from the inside where I'd be filming, and I was so hoping would see all of you guys do it, and the rain spoiled that. For yourself as a racer, knowing now that you're going to have to double up one of those nights and do two, I believe they're going to do two features. They're going to make up one of those. Is that something that you would like to do, or would you prefer that they find a different weekend to get you guys that makeup, or just cancel it altogether? Like, obviously, it's a tough call either way.
It's a tricky call. I'm in favor of, if we are gonna do a makeup feature, then I would be in favor of just doubling up a feature night. I've always been the kind of guy that gets out of the car and says, "Man, I could do another 25 easily." I enjoy that. I like that, and I think that it really helps just to keep, these schedules comes out and guys plan their whole summer around it, right? So just to randomly throw a race in could, throw a wrench in a lot of people's plans. So I'd be more in favor of just doubling up a night where it's just us in another division. I think that would be really fun to run 25 and then run another 25 after the other feature or whatever, or just run a 50-lap feature. I mean, I love the longer races with management and all that. I really enjoy that. So I'd be all in favor for anything like that.
Well, it's been nice because you guys have a solid core of racers, your regulars out there. I mean, we're typically, I'm saying, like, you're normally in the group with, it seems like there's kind of pockets of the same guys that you're typically racing around with, Donovan Clark, Justin Culver, your teammate of sorts with BT Racing. Michael Verburns up there in points with you. How about Will Cory, somebody else who's kind of come full circle this year and he's really showing off in front of the field. But who do you like to race out with? Because that's a huge field of cars. Lots of people week in and week out that you've got to be door to door with.
Matt Langford, 100%.
Yeah.
Matt Langford's the kind of guy where you can race with, and you can push 110%, and he'll push 110%, and that you're going to both load your cars up spotless at the end of the night. How it comes out, it's going to be a clean, fair, good battle. He's the best to race side by side with.
You've gotten the opportunity to be out and race at Grand Bend a couple times as well, with for Chris Lawrence, and we'll talk about Chris in a second. But talk about a difference between two racetracks. What's it like running at Grand Bend?
Tight.
Yeah, I think so.
When I raced there, I was in a we'll call it an uncompetitive car. It was more of a have fun, kind of promote the track. And so my main focus when I was running at Grand Bend was I wanted to get that Ford Focus up on three wheels around the whole lap. And I think I was able to do it once or twice. So that's what I ran last, but I was pleased with that effort. And it was fun. It's a fun track. It's really small. So you really got to manage yourself and pace yourself. And I think it's a really good track for what it does.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's underrated. I mean, it's obviously not a place that you can fit 36 bone stocks.
No.
Hell, you can't even really fit 12 around there. But
really pushing it at 7, I was a bit like, oh wow, we got a lot. For those junior late models and those little micro sprints, that's a really, really cool place.
Yeah, it really is. And I love getting to watch you guys out every weekend. Every week. Unfortunately, I guys have an off weekend at Delaware this week. I don't know what I'm going to do because the monster trucks are there. So that's always, I hate to say it's a disappointment for me because I don't get to watch you guys out there and race. But what's planned for the rest of the year, buddy? You're obviously going to do the rest of the season at Delaware for points. Any invitationals, or are you going to just stick to Delaware?
So Delaware is definitely the main focus, especially with the Sunfire. I'm not sure if I'll travel with that car yet. I'm always hesitant to travel with the main car because if you wreck it at one track, it's like, oh man, now I got to fix it for Delaware, which I'm fighting for a points position in. But I do have another car. I have a Mitsubishi. So we're planning on I want to take that up to Sauble for the 23rd of August, the Mitsubishi. Looking at their rules, looking at the way the car is, I think it could be pretty stout in that field. And I really like Sauble. I ran it last year. It's a really fun track, really great atmosphere at the track, great officials. Just a great time. So I want to bring it out for there. But the main thing I want to do with that Mitsubishi, my Lancer, is I actually want to do some road racing. That's what I really love that. So I want to take the car, throw lights and wipers at it, and do some road racing events. You know, some longer endurance events, maybe, if I can get a couple of guys, if I can convince or trick a couple guys into running it with me, you know, or just simple sprint events. But yeah, I really want to do some road racing with that car.
You know, it's a cool opportunity for people at Delaware Speedway to get hooked up and run with Captain Chris and Miss Penny and the BT Racing team. It's been a new kind of experience, although you've been a part of their family kind of in a way for many years. Chris has told me, and Chris was the main reason that kind of you know, we know who you are, you know, because we weren't local to Delaware, and there was no one I'd think that was more excited. Well, aside from you from winning, Chris Lawrence was right there in victory lane with you, and he was just as pumped as you were. How has it been being a part of the BT Racing program?
It's been great this year. It's really been really just an amazing experience to go, because I built the car with him too in the off season. So we put it together. It was great to learn and to have him show me, you know, here's how you put it together. Because I'd only ever bought cars before. I'd never put one together. So it was really cool to just learn, like, just mechanically speaking, like just how to do all that stuff. And then just the finer points of it. It was a great experience to build it. And then just working with him and Glavin and Penny and Justin and obviously Langford Racing, of course, at the track. And just, it's really just been great to have that team atmosphere, and like to know that when I get in the car, all right, I've got people behind me that are going to help me no matter what happens. It really gives you that freeing ability. Obviously you don't go out and tear it up anyway, just because you have someone there to help you. I'd be in there with them fixing it, but it's nice to have that team, that security. And it's just a really good experience out there. It doesn't feel like you're alone.
You know, Adam, it's always great to be able to chat with racers that we know are passionate, and man, the passion that you have is it comes out every weekend. Like I said, it was one of my favorite victory lane celebrations last year, and I know we're going to see another one at some point. It's definitely going to happen. But thank you so much for joining me tonight. I hope other people will be able to come on, because we want to see some more partners on your number 25 car. You're well deserving of some representation for brands and for some companies to come on board, because you race with your heart and you race with a lot of passion, and that's why you were a perfect guest for tonight. So thank you so much for joining me, and best of luck for the rest of the season.
Thanks, Cam. Thank you very much for having me. And yeah, hopefully we'll all get to come on again soon.
Of course you will. Yes, that's what we're here for, right? I want to be able to have you on the show, and you know what? We're really excited for you this year, and hopefully we can get to see you do, like you said, see you put on an actual show, not just the heats next time. So have a good night, Adam, and thank you so much.
Thank you. You too, Cam. Have a good one.
That is our friend Adam Generoo out at Delaware Speedway. Wow, what a great dude, man. This is why I love doing this show. There is so much that we can learn about racers across Ontario in different forms of motorsports, different tracks, different divisions. Give a call out to a racing family, because that's what we are here at G-Force TV. We are now 20,000 subscribers strong. You know we're going to continue building this show up. We've already gone past our runtime, because each one of these guests deserves to have as much time as we can give them. And you know what? I'm very proud of this show and proud of everybody that's tuned in tonight. Make sure you guys subscribe, give us a thumbs up, share this content. We're going to continue to build each and every week with new and more exciting guests. And I really want to thank everybody for joining us tonight. Cory and Kane, McAllister, Austin Arnell, Nate Greenaway, Brendan Doherty, Paul Pepper, Adam Generoo. Do yourselves a favor. Go out to a racetrack this weekend. Support, support, support. I know there are people out there that think it's past. We're past promoting. Incorrect. We are out there to make sure that people are interested in motorsports. We want to see it live, and I want to see you back here next week on GeForce TV. Thank you so much for watching, everybody. Have yourselves a great week. Cam K, ONTrack Weekly. We'll catch you next week.